everybody, it's Mena. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Hey everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel. Or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day of the week for a while. And today in this video, I'm going to tell you guys the top 5 places that I'm sad went out of business. Now these are really places that I really miss, and I'm sad they went out of business. I'm not too sad. I'm not actually really sad that they went out of business, like I'm crying over it, but I was pretty sad when I heard they were going out of business because these were my favorite places to go, and now I won't be able to go to them anymore. But these were only just when they were first going out of business. I don't actually miss these places as much as I normally would, but I do miss one of my local thrift stores because I'll explain in a little bit. And these are just places I wish were still in business because then I could still go to them. And so I'm going to get started. And if you guys have any certain stores you missed that you wish were still in business, please let me know what they are down in the comments below. Like if it's a local store, a local restaurant, or any kind of store you really, really enjoyed. So I'm going to get started. I apologize for pausing the video so much. So number 1 on my list would be Blockbuster. Now, I used to love Blockbuster when I was a kid. It was my favorite place to go and rent movies because back when I was a kid, we didn't really have Netflix and pay-per-view or like websites we can watch movies on for free. We just had, excuse me. We just had like places to go and rent videos, and I miss Blockbuster because it was a fun place to rent videos, and I liked it probably until I was like in middle school because as I got a little older, they didn't have a lot of movies I really wanted to get. So half the time, anytime I went to Blockbuster, they didn't have a lot of movies that I really would like. They just, because it was a really small Blockbuster, and I think they were just out of a lot of the good movies that I really wanted, which made it a little hard for me to actually get movies I wanted because half the time they didn't have them in stock and half the time they were just already rented. And I do have a review on Blockbuster, and I'll link it down below if you didn't see it. Number 2 on my list had to be Hollywood Video. Now this one actually became my new favorite video store to rent movies because this place had like way more varieties of movies than Blockbuster did, in my opinion, because I think it's because my Blockbuster was just really, really small. They didn't have a lot of space to put things. And I forgot to mention that the last Blockbuster I ever went to, I think was in Walnut Creek or something. I was going to volunteer at a local food place, but they canceled us because they didn't know we were coming. And so we ended up just going to Blockbuster, and that was the last Blockbuster I ever went to. So Hollywood Video, I was super sad because it was my favorite place to go and get movies while I was going through chemo. I had so much fun going and getting movies in that store because it just had all the movies I would wanted to get rather than Blockbuster, because I felt like Blockbuster just didn't have a big variety of movies. I felt like Hollywood Video had a much better varieties, and it was easier to see which movies were which because because it had the movie's original cases, which made it easier for me to get a movie so I could see what the movie looked like on the case. So, and I do have a review on Hollywood Video, which I'll also link down below if you didn't see it. I just really enjoyed that one better than Blockbuster. I mean, some people may disagree with me and say Blockbuster's better, but everybody's different when it comes to movie rental places. I mean, what was your favorite place to get movies? Let me know down in the comments below. It could be a local place. It could be either Hollywood Video or Blockbuster or just a local local video store. I apologize. I just name it down below in the comments. Number 3 on my list would have to be one of my local thrift stores. Now, I have a lot of thrift stores where I live, but a lot of the thrift stores where I live are kind of expensive, but this was the cheapest thrift store they had in my city. It was really cute. My family loved getting their Christmas presents from this place, especially my mom and my sister. They loved getting a lot of their Christmas presents because it was much cheaper than half the stores, the local thrift stores in my area. Yeah, which made it a lot easier. And they had a lot of, this was a small thrift store, but it had a lot of cheap things. Sadly, the store went out of business because it didn't make a lot of money, but it was still a really great store. It was my favorite store, and it went out of business a couple years ago. I can't remember how many years ago it had been, but I remember they had a big sale because they had to close the store, and it sucked because it was the cheapest store or in my area, because like I said, most of the antique and thrift stores in my downtown area are pretty expensive. Number 4 on my list would be Carol's. Now, I was very disappointed with it when Carol's went out of business because Carol's was one of my favorite restaurants. So I used to go there with my dad all the time whenever he'd come and visit, and we'd eat dinner there, and I'd take my whole family there. It was one of my favorite places to go for dinner for years. I went there a couple times for my birthday, and when they were closing, I was really sad when I found out that they were closing because it was just one of my favorite restaurants of all time, and they had really good food, and I wonder why it went out of business because it was such a great restaurant. I really loved it. And I just wish it was still there because their food was delicious. Number 5 on my list would have to be my local dollar store. Now, I used to go to this dollar store a lot with my mom, and we get a lot of things. It was kind of a really small dollar store. It had a lot of stuff in there for it being a very small dollar store. Sadly, it went out of business due to bankruptcy. And I was very sad because I think my grandpa liked going there too, because my grandpa loved dollar stores and stuff. And my mom and I would go in there, and so would my sister, and it was a really cute dollar store. Despite the fact it was a really tiny dollar store, it was just still really cute, and it had a lot of good stuff in there. Okay, so those are my top 5 places that I'm sad went out of business. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day of the week for all, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!